Right. Well, I mean, look at the whole Solyndra scandal. I mean, we don't want to get into national stuff, but the fact that you're giving money to certain industries or certain companies based on affiliation, and then you're punishing others that aren't doing, exactly what you want them to do.
But you do see it locally too.
You do, and that's the whole point of it.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it before, but if you live in Crystal, Northwest Family Physicians is moving to their new location on 81. I hear Jason simmering already. From where it was in the Crystal Gallery. Well, the city of Crystal, loaned them $400,000 to move? Now, why do you loan money to one business? Now, are we going to do that to every business that wants to move? What if we got a lot of businesses that have been here? Why does one business get special treatment?
Exactly. And nobody in that community wants that Northwest community, Northwest physicians there, because there's light pollution, there's noise pollution, there's been
a buffer to 81.
The buffer to 81 is gone. There's actual pollution that blows over into people's yards from the construction site. So, but yet we look at maybe another example, Thriftway. Well, the city lets Aldi move in. Okay, fair competition. Well, maybe Thriftway didn't have the money to update and look as nice. Well, maybe they should have had a tax break then.
Well, and then you see things too, like when you look at their comprehensive plan, they'll use words like, well, this area is suffering from de-investment. Now, that's code words for we don't like how it looks. So, I mean, imagine being, look at it this way. Yeah. Imagine being a small business owner in Crystal, looking up Crystal's comprehensive plan and seeing your building targeted for redevelopment. Your building targeted for rezoning. Look at the place you work, or the place you buy groceries, the place you get your car fixed. All targeted for, well, you know what, we don't like what's there. We want to rezone it. We want to put something different here. I mean, imagine that. I mean, and in Crystal, of course, the council talks out of both sides of their mouths like they always do. It's the only way they know how to talk. Oh, we support small business. Oh, we're so dedicated to them. Yet, how many small businesses and apartment buildings and even a park area is targeted for development? They've developed that before. How do you have it both ways?
Yeah, it's just whether it's good for you or not. It has nothing to do with holding some sort of value system. It's about whether it's good for you. And is that really what you want in your local politicians? People that do what's best for them and not what's best for their community. Not hold true to principles, but just situational values.
Yeah, or doing what they can. I mean, I think part of you go back to Northwest Family Physicians, it has to do with two things. One, increasing Crystal's property tax money so they can take more and spend more. That's part of it. And the other thing is the TOD, the transit-oriented development, that they anticipate light rail running by there. And I guarantee you they would have never given the money had they wanted to move anywhere else. If they wanted to move in southern Crystal or somewhere, they'd have never gotten money. They'd have never got your tax money, by the way. That's $400,000. They don't snap their fingers and make it up. That's money that's your hard-earned money that went to them. And look, I don't got nothing against Northwest Family Physicians as a company. But I think it's not proper. The city's actions were unethical, to put it, I'll be nice and call it unethical.
Yeah, but there's a lot of that, unfortunately. And we find a lot of that where there's conflict of interest. There are deals that are given for special, interests. It happens at the local level as well as the state level. It's not something far away that you hear about on the nightly news. It happens here in our meetings that we don't get to see because most of them aren't televised. It's just the council meetings. Yeah,
and the council meetings, they'll be 20 minutes long. I will say one thing. City of Crystal is putting the agenda packet on the website now, which is a baby step in the right direction because they didn't do that previously, but they do have that. So you can, unfortunately, they take it down right afterward. But if you can't make it to a work session or something, you want to see what they're talking about, you can download that and at least get what they're looking at as a reference for yourself. So maybe that's a baby's. Maybe by the time I retire, they'll put. Well, as soon as I'm the mayor, they'll be available on YouTube and everywhere else. They're going to be televised if I'm there, and there's not going to be any pathetic excuses like they've had. No.
Well, the nice thing is, being part of this lovely station, you know how to run the equipment. You can just go in and turn it on.
That's true, and of course, somebody's cell phone could do the job too.
Yep, absolutely. So there's so much to learn about local government, and it really is the foundational point of how you live your life day to day. I mean, whether or not you're allowed to have a barrel to collect rain so that you can water your garden, what size your garden is, where it can be located, if you can have chickens or not, if you can have compost and where that compost can be located and how it has to be stored.
Build a fence.
You know, if you want to build a
garage.
fence. It's crazy. I mean, sometimes don't you, especially with this economy, just want to be able to go out and say you want to build some woodworking and sell it out of your garage, not have the city interfere in how many people can come up to your house at one time. You're never going to be a business where you have 35 people coming up, but the city code says that you can have one customer come at a time. How much are you going to sell? I mean, obviously you're going to have to maybe push some stuff over the internet, you know, if you want to sell volumes, but really if you have 2 people there at once, that's a problem. And the size of your sign is regulated by city code. And I mean, there's certain things that are ridiculous.
City code, 600 pages long. 600 pages. I mean, we've got, just in Crystal alone, we've got a budget that's 140 pages, a comprehensive annual financial report, which is over 200 pages, a city code, it's over 600 pages, a charter that has, what, 11, 12 parts to it? I mean, just trying to figure out Crystal alone is a task in and of itself.
Yeah, and this is happening in every single city. I mean, you can be in Brooklyn Center, you can be in Brooklyn Park, you can be in New Hope, Plymouth. It doesn't matter. You can be in Robbinsdale. Same things are happening there that are happening here. And we're going to uncover a lot of that. And we're not going to talk just about Crystal because this is a bigger initiative. And we need people not only to get educated in Crystal, we need people to get educated in all these other cities so that we can take back what belongs to us, and that is the power of our cities, the power of our vote.
Well, and it's also the power to determine, you know, what your city wants to look like. I'll say this: Crystal's the city I grew up in, and you know, I know I've talked about that over my years on the air, and I don't want all these changes. And again, it really makes you feel like you're not being represented. And if you feel that way, you have to make sure they know that. And like we talked about, finding candidates to run, people to be on commissions, people to write letters, people to make phone calls, send emails, and let them know. I mean, if you do anything, if you take anything from this show, taking the time to watch a meeting or go to a work session or get involved in any which way with any, or create your own community solutions group. I mean, it's all of that is.
Right, and you know, is it a lot of work? I won't lie to you, it can be, but you know what? George Washington never wanted to really continue in public service after the Revolutionary War, but they urged him to do it, and he did. They want to be king. He didn't do it. He stepped down after 2 terms of being president because he didn't want to do it anymore, but he did it. Yeah. He served his community, he served his nation because he knew he had to.
And I'll say something for George Washington as we wrap up here. George Washington never took a dime in payment. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. Well, like Andrew said, look at the time. That about does it. Thank you for watching Community Solutions TV, and we will see you again soon.
Mahalo.